is up, ladies and gentlemen? Mark Christopher again with another Hippie Picks interview. Today, I have a very special guest, although I'm slightly salty because he's never seen The Office. I was so excited to strategize this out, and he's like, yeah, I've never seen it. I need to watch it. Ugh. And I know some of you guys are from UK and from other parts of the world, so you may have mixed feelings on the American version or the UK version. Doesn't matter. Very excited to have this guy on. He's 19 years old, and he's making guitar picks as a sustainable way to keep himself in college. How awesome is that? This guy's name is Bailey. I'm so excited to have Bailey. Bailey, are you there?
I am here.
How are you, my friend?
Pretty good. How are you?
Good. Where are you?
Well, I'm in the wonderful state of New Jersey at Rowan University.
Nice.
Yeah.
That is so cool. You're in your dorm, I presume?
Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
Stuck here.
Yeah, I was telling everybody just a second ago that you've never seen The Office, so you don't get either one of these references.
I don't. I've seen memes of it, so
You're not gonna get it.
yeah, it's not the same.
This interview's over. Bye. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. So I did tell everybody that you're 19 years old.
Yeah.
And that you make picks, and correct me if I'm wrong, as a way to pay for college.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
So let's dive into that. Your name is Bailey. What is your pick making name, your logo?
It's New World Guitar Picks.
Where did you come up with that name?
Well, it's kind of a bit of a story. So, when I was first getting into guitar pick making, I was initially inspired by Iron Age guitar and Stone Age guitar. Those are my two guys that really paved the path for me to make picks. And initially it was New Age guitar. And then I realized, well, I'm kind of like being too much like their name. So I just changed it to New World Guitar. And I honestly had no clue what I was doing with that. I was just changing a word. And then now I realize, wow, I can do stuff with like the Illuminati and stuff like that. That's kind of like a spin on things. Yeah. Yeah. Like in some of my posts, I say support the New World Order. Like, so that's,
That's funny. That's funny. So
yeah.
You have answered some of my questions. Let's kind of dive into that. You got into pick making because of Iron Age and Stone Age.
Yes.
What led you to them first?
Well, I've only been playing guitar for about 4 years. And of course I'm on Instagram. I'm scrolling through all these amazing like guitar pictures, all this gear, and then I just saw this post, and it was like this guitar pick, and it was an Iron Age guitar pick, and it was the Furnier's Fang, and I was like, wow, that is just awesome. Then I started looking at all his stuff, and I was like, wow, that's really freaking cool. Then just one day I was like, well, why can't I do that? And so there was this like little ornamental bush in my backyard that my parents were chopping down because it was dying. So chopped it down, cut it up, and this isn't the first one I made, but I made, where's the camera? There we go. I'll flip the camera so we get a better view. But I made something like this. And I was like, wow, the first one, of course, was atrocious, Yeah. I think everyone's, it's first run, But as I started progressing, it just got a little better, as everything does. And I am here today.
Cool. Sorry, somebody was coming in. So this is John Coleman's Classic Barbershop, and he allows me to use this facility to record these interviews on Wednesdays. That being said, sometimes people show up at the door and think they're going to get their hair cut. And sadly, I'm in there. Oh,
looks like a pretty cool place.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got the little Coke thing in the back. You like Pac-Man machine. That looks really cool, man.
It's that's actually a die-hard old video game, like arcade game.
Yeah.
It works.
I love it.
It's really cool. So what was that type of wood? It kind of looked like zebra wood, but obviously you don't grow zebra wood in your backyard. That comes from one location in the whole world.
We were initially saying like a kind of like juniper, but officially, I have no freaking clue, man. I honestly have no clue,
Take a
but
picture
it's got a
before you
nice
cut it
grain.
down?
So, hmm?
Did you take a picture of the bush before you cut it down?
uh, I I'm sure I have one. I don't like have it like on me.
Yeah. Well, I'm not
Um,
saying now, but like
yeah, yeah,
you could get somebody to identify what
mhm,
is this, you know,
yeah,
instead of a piece of wood now as a pick.
yeah.
You made one successful,
I'd say it was pretty successful. Yeah,
and then you said, "Okay, I'm going to do more of this." How much did you just use a bunch from that tree, that bush?
yeah. That
Okay,
was my only source of material for about the first, I want to say, year of making picks,
okay. Was that
and I
that wood?
just that. And I didn't have a way to cut it, and but I'd taken an engineering class where we of course we made like the CO2 cars and stuff like that. So I was like, I went to the teacher. I was like, hey, listen, I'm trying to make guitar picks. Can like I use like the bandsaw to cut wood? Like, can you cut me wood? Like all this stuff. And he's like, yeah, of course, like no problem. And he really allowed me to cut out the shapes of the pick. So all I would have to do is sand them and get the bevels. So that really allowed me to get into the next phase of like the next design, because initially it was kind of just like a lump of wood that had no real shape.
Yeah. And you, am I correct in saying you sand them by hand?
Yes. Well, right now I cut them out on a belt sander, but everything else is sanding by hand.
Yeah, it seems to be an easy way to get the shape is with the belt sander. I, for
Yeah.
a long time, was using a hand sander, like a little orbital sander. And
Mhm.
I would cut the shape out with a hacksaw as best I could,
Mhm.
and then try
Yeah.
and mold into the shape, and then go from there with the sanding. So, how old were you when you started doing this? It seems like you haven't been doing it that long.
Like 16 or 17. So it's only been like 2 or 3 years.
There's another guy out here, and I actually just did an interview with him recently. Jacob from Glitch.
Jacob, yeah, I've talked to him. Yeah.
Yeah, he's 16 years old, man. He just turned 16. So he's been doing this for about a year and a half. He's been doing this since he was like 14, 15.
Yeah.
Okay, you made one, then you made a bunch. Were you just for
Yeah.
yourself? Were you giving them to your buddies? What were you doing?
Well, there's like, there's the band kids that play a whole bunch of instruments when I was in high school, and they were like, very impressive with what they did on guitar. So I was like, hey, can you like try these and tell me how they are? And it's like, these are like really freaking cool. And he's like, I want to buy some more off you. I was like, because initially I had no intention of selling them. I was just making them like just to see what I could do. I was like, oh wow, give me $5 and I'll give you a pick. And
Yeah.
and it kind of just, that's how the whole business aspect of it started. I realized, wow, people like these and they want them.
Yeah.
And then I was like, and I like making them, so it's kind of like a win-win.
At what point did you decide I can do this online with people I don't even know? Like I'd never met you prior. You and I are just guys who make picks.
Um, that would have to be, well, one, after my mom said you can make a business after of this. I was like, oh yeah, you're kind of right. And then after I sent John from Heavy Ripping the pics, because I sent him like the second run, not the first one I made, but like the second run, and he's like, yeah, these are really good for like just like your second try. And like I was asking how I could better them, because of course I want to get better. He's like, yeah, just keep posting stuff like on Instagram and like see what other people say, and then that's how it kind of turned into a business. That was kind of like the breaking point of hobby to business.
And you were 16 years old.
Yeah, 15, yes, like 16 years old. Yeah.
Okay. Did you by chance buy any Iron Age or Stone Age stuff before this?
So I didn't buy it, but what I did was like I commented on his post. I said like, if this gets like 200 likes, will you send me a pic? And he's like, yeah, sure, why not? And I was like, I got to get this to be 200 likes. And I got past 200 likes, and he's like, pick a pic. And I was like, I want your spearhead from Iron Age. Then the same thing to Stone Age, which, you know, it's a, yeah.
Clever.
Clever, yeah. And what I did was I got those pics and I used them to see what they were doing, to see what I could integrate into my own work. Because, you know, they make some really impressive stuff. And I was like looking at it and I was like, you know, I kept turning in my hand. I was like, how did I get that? And how did I get that? How did I get these sides to be smooth? And then I like found out what I could do with like just sandpaper, just to like get the sides smooth and how to make everything like shine and stuff. And it was really just like a breakthrough from just looking at it in person, you know?
Have you reached out to them and like told them their hand in getting you to becoming a pick maker?
Oh yeah, like all the time, honestly. Like I'm always talking to Matt from Stone Age, and recently I just sent Iron Age some resin that I have, and he sent me back some pics he made of it, which I will again flip this around so you can get a better view.
That's beautiful.
I know, it's great.
Now, do you make your own resin?
I do not make my own resin, which I've been told that is something that I should get into. And I know I watched your interview with Honey Picks. I know you were talking to him about that. But from when I was initially actually seriously thinking about making my own resin, it was probably like June of this year. So that was like during quarantine. I realized, you know, I'm going to college in like 2 months. I'm going to buy all this stuff. It's just going to sit there for the longest time after I use a little bit of it. I didn't think it was cost effective to do it right now. But I do get my resin from Simply Silicone Products, which if you check him out on Instagram, he has some really cool stuff. And LG Resin Woodpile Workshop. There's a lot of underscores in there. And they both like have sent me like amazing stuff that, you know, just it's great material for pics. Everyone said they like it, so.
Nice. I have noticed on your Instagram page. First, where can people find you?
Instagram. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
What's the handle? Whatever hashtag.
Just New World Guitar Picks.
New World Guitar Picks. Go check them out now if you haven't already. I've noticed that you don't just make wooden picks. You have other materials. What type of materials do you use now?
I have Kernite, carbon fiber, a little bit of fiberglass. I have mammoth ivory. I haven't made a pick from that yet. I'm too scared to cut into it because, you know, it's a little piece. I got it from Renz Hendricks, and I'm just mortified to try it. And he's just like, try it. And I'm just like, but like, mammoth ivory, like, you know, like I don't want to mess it up. So I'm waiting till, you know, but copper, I think that's about it. I've wanted to try acrylic. I do some with a laser, kind of like Honey Picks or, you know, like Dahlman, but I haven't had access to that yet. So I'm, you know, just trying to design things in AutoCAD until I get that.
Okay. Do you have a particular signature pick?
Not necessarily. I mostly base it off of a Jazz 3, but I don't have one for an example right now, but I have one. I call it the Standard Slant, which it looks just like a regular shaped pick, except a piece of it is just missing. So it has a thinner point.
Okay.
It's kind of hard to describe.
I'm looking on your Instagram right now to try and find what you're talking about. I do have one question regarding one of your picks. I don't see one with a slant in it though.
It might be a while down. It's been a while, like that. I just drew it on the.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. I am curious about this. And I think this is how you and me started communicating.
Oh yes, I remember that because you asked if the slits were good for playability.
Yeah.
those are the only two of that model that I've made. I haven't sold any. I haven't really played exclusively with those. I just thought it was a cool thing to add.
Yeah, very cool. I'm not saying it's not. I just that was my question. That was how I met you. I saw your pick and I said, that looks awesome, but would it catch? You know?
I personally haven't had a catch.
Okay.
But I think if it did catch, it would catch mostly on the first string, like first or second string.
Yeah.
So those are depending on what like gauge strings you play too. Because if you play like extra light, then of course those are super thin.
Yeah.
More chances it's gonna get in there.
I see that one is wooden. What's the blue one?
That is Micarta G10, which is fiberglass.
Okay. I want to try that one. We'll arrange me buying it here in a minute after this interview's over. This isn't a business sale yet.
Yeah.
Okay, so, dude, this is too cool. I started following you, and you were talking about college stuff, and this is a way to sustain you through college. How successful has this been for you, though? It seems like you're doing great.
It has. Of course, it's not going to like give me a full ride. It has definitely financed like, if not most of like all of my textbooks. So that is just, it's nice to have that.
Yeah, that's so cool. It's like when we see a guitar pick as just a normal player, you go to the store, the guitar store, whatever. I don't want to name brand anybody, but you get a pick and you don't think a second of it,
Yeah.
Oh, it's just a guitar pick. It's whatever. And then you find this world of guitar pick makers. And you say, oh, that's kind of cool. I like what they're doing. And then you get to meet them.
Yeah.
You learn like this guy is making picks to, even if it's just covering the books. Books are expensive for college.
Yeah.
And there's a purpose here. It's not just like you're some guy who's like, I'm just doing this. It's whatever. It's like, I'm focused. What are you going to college for?
Engineering entrepreneurship.
I almost guessed engineering because you mentioned that twice prior.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I actually wrote my my college essay about making guitar picks. So that kind of went like hand in hand with the major I was applying for and the essay. So I think that was like a leading factor to why I got in.
A?
Yeah.
You got an A on that essay?
No, the why I got into, because I wrote my college essay, like my, on making guitar picks.
I misunderstood what you said. What is the future like for New World guitar picks?
Well, right now, I haven't been going home as much, so there's kind of been a hiatus on posts and making guitar picks. But the shop is still completely open. Hopefully over the winter break, getting back on the grind, because I do miss making picks. Like I miss just standing in the garage at my little table, just sanding everything, because I genuinely enjoy it. Yeah.
And you can't make them while you're in college. You don't have access to everything.
I have access to like CNC machines, or I will have access to CNC machines and like lasers once the labs open up. But due to coronavirus right now, they are closed. I've been talking to my one engineering professor, and he said I'll try and set something up for you. But so far, there have been no developments there.
Yeah. Nice. Long term, is this what you want to do for a living?
I'm not sure, because
you seem very excited and passionate about this, and you got into college, and it's supporting and sustaining you to a degree right now. And I don't think, from just this quick interview, I don't think you're ready to give it up. Not saying that you are, but it just seems like you're like, I'm just going full steam ahead, man. I love your energy, and I love the attitude. It's awesome. Yeah.
Long term, I really have no clue, because I don't know if I'd be able to go, full time making guitar picks. But I, of course, love to do this as long as possible, as much as possible, you know? Because it's even just like, even if I'm not making picks, like I still like love going on Instagram and scrolling through people's feeds and just being in the community. Because like the Plectriverse is just like, you know, it's a great freaking place, man.
It's a group. We love
Yeah.
it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I had a question for you and it slipped my mind. Yeah. So you got into music 4 years ago. Just guitar? Is there any other instruments?
Well, when I was in like fourth grade, they started introducing us to like music and stuff, and I learned the clarinet because that's what my brother learned. And I was like, wow, this is really boring. Then I went to saxophone, and then I was like, okay, this is cool. Then that was up until like 8th grade, and then I actually had a concussion from playing basketball. I was like hit on the ground a few times. Yeah, it got a little rough. And
Are you okay now?
oh yeah, I'm fine. Yeah. I had to go to like physical therapy, but you know, it's so that meant I had a concussion. I couldn't run track, which was my main sport. So I said, you know what? I was taking history of rock and roll at the time, and I was learning all about this stuff. I was like, you know, I've always wanted to learn guitar. So why don't I learn guitar? And like everyone's like, you have a concussion, you're gonna learn guitar. I was like, it's fine, and wound up fine. So, and that's kind of. I was actually I told you I was watching the Hippie Fix interview. Sorry, your Hippie Fix, Honey Fix interview. And Rick also started out on the clarinet, then he went to saxophone and guitar, and I found that really interesting. I messaged him after that, and I was like, dude, like, that's so cool.
I have always wanted to play trumpet. The first band I ever saw live in concert, I went and saw a band, but this was the opening band, right? The band that opened for them. The band is called Shaded Red, and they were pretty cool. They had a couple albums. They had 2 albums out, and I really loved their music to this day. Like, they're one of my all-time favorite bands, even though they only had 2 albums. And it really influenced my musical career. But one of the guys in the band, I think he was like the guitar player or something, would on occasion whip out a trumpet. And like, it was a rock band. And I was like, this is so cool. And I've always wanted to play trumpet my whole life, and I've never been able to. When I was in school, like you, like I tried to learn sax and I couldn't do it. Now I'm learning how to play the recorder, which is not like the clarinet, but it's close, you know?
Yeah.
But it's almost like I did all this backwards, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Clarinet and moved their way up, and I am learning how to play the clarinet now, you know? Yeah. That's cool. But back to the question, what kind of music?
Honestly, I'll just go on like a website or app that has a whole bunch of tabs, and I'll just scroll through, find the songs I listen to. So pretty much just like Ed Sheeran, Bon Jovi, starting to get into a little bit of Nirvana, which I find it funny that I'm just getting into them since they're, you know, they're kind of old. Not, you know, that old, but you know, for me they're old. And
I have a funny story for you. I was actually 19 when I discovered Nirvana as well, right? And a friend of mine let me listen to some of their songs, and I fell in love. I loved, like, I had 3 albums. I was jamming, and I told my friend, man, we need to go see these guys live. And they said, Kurt Cobain is dead. I'm like, what? It shattered my world. I had no idea. I didn't know who Kurt was. I didn't know. I thought they were like a brand new band, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm 33, so I'm a little bit older than you, but like I was a child when that happened, when he passed away. So I never grew up listening to Nirvana or anything. So it's funny to me that I was 19 when I got into Nirvana as well. As a side note, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of just like, you know, I always knew who they were, but like I never like listened to them because everyone's like, oh, Nirvana's so great. I was like, I just never listened to them. I was like, you know what? Let's do it. And I was like, holy crap, this is actually like really freaking good. Like, you know? And I was like, now I'm on like a binge of Nirvana.
Did you get the box set?
No, I've just been listening to it off YouTube.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. Yeah. There's so many songs. I like the one song, I think it's called Sappy. I think it's called Sappy, but that's like one of my all-time favorite songs. And I say that because I know they changed the name of the song, and it was never like a popular song, but it's the one about like catching a frog and keeping him in the laundry room. You're in the laundry room. You're in. No, I don't know. I can't.
I haven't heard that one yet.
Dude, I will send it to you. It's
Yeah, send it to me. I gotta listen to that.
so I really enjoy the song. And then one time I was like, dude, he caught a frog. That's what this whole song's about. Because he's like, he'll put you in a box. He'll punch out some holes. He'll put a leaf in there, give you air, and I'm just thinking, like he caught a little froggy and put it in a container. And that's what this whole silly song's about. It's not a silly song, but yeah. And you're like, it's about a frog. You're like, whoa. That's, you know what I mean? It's just so simple. I love it.
Yeah. The first song I listened to was actually, when I got to college, because I was in this literature poetry class, and it got weird, so I transferred out of that class. But she's like, okay, we're gonna listen to Polly by Nirvana, and she's explaining what it is. I'm just like, okay. And do you know what that song's about? It's about like, it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
And to have like a professor like talk about that, I was just not prepared for that, and just got a little weird. But that was my introduction to Nirvana, and I was like, okay, well, let's see what else they have.
Yeah.
And yeah, I like all the other songs. So
Polly's a good song, but it's once you know the story, it's really
and
you listen to it and you just go, man. I liked that about Kurt Cobain, where he felt he needed to pay tribute to that girl, and it was tragic, but I found it very cool that he's just reading a newspaper article, sees this, and is like, man, I'm compelled to write about her experience. That's cool. I like a lot of Nirvana. So you're never gonna. We could talk about Nirvana. We could do a whole nother with Nirvana lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
Well, listen, my brother, I have to run.
All right.
Do you have any final words you would like to tell everybody? Support the Illuminati. That's what he said. It's what he said earlier.
Yeah, gotta think back. Well, I gotta say, I'm a big fan of your beard and the little mohawk. I'm loving it.
Thanks. I didn't put any product in it this morning. I overslept, and I've been in a mad rush all day. All day. Mm-hmm. Yeah, thanks. I wasn't saying, do you have any final things about my...
Well, just in general, I had to say, I've been thinking it a long time. This dude's beard is just his whole look. I'm like, it's great,
Thanks.
What are you drinking there?
Oh, today I got The Office, which I know nothing about.
Listen, all right, I've watched plenty of other TV shows, all right? Like, the news. Just kidding, I don't watch the news.
I saw an episode of I Love Lucy. I'm just No, so today I'm drinking water with apple cider vinegar. That's really good. It's like a little healthy alternative to energy drinks. It gives you a little pep in your step, and it's good for your body. But you've never seen The Office, so you don't get any of this. And unfortunately, when we found out that my wife was pregnant, we found out it was a woman. My wife surprised me with this shirt, which is regional manager, and had a shirt for my son that says assistant to the regional manager. You ain't seen that show. But it's really funny. And I'm hoping the people watching this that have seen this 100% get it. Sorry, you don't. But you got your Martin.
Yeah. I was like, you know what? We're gonna go. I went to the behind the scenes hat. When I turned 18, I went to the behind the scenes tour of Martin Factory in Pennsylvania, and it just blew me away. It was amazing. They have guitars from like the 1800s back there, and they're all like racked up. Dude, it's freaking amazing. I loved it.
When you went into the wood room where they store all the wood, were you like?
Actually, this is mahogany.
Yeah.
They have you been to? I'm guessing you've been there. Have you been to the old factory?
I went to the one in Bethlehem.
Yes. Well, right down the road they have the original factory, which is where they sell all their B stock. So what they do, so for luthiers to come, they sell these like B stock stuff, so luthiers can come and get the materials to make guitars. And I was like, oh, this is so cool. I want to go check it out. And there was this man there, and I was telling him, oh, I make wooden guitar picks. And he's like, oh, here, like, we have all this wood that we're just going to get rid of because it's warped and stuff. And he gave me like these huge, like the size of my desk. Like my desk is probably like 3 feet long by like a foot. He gave me like all that. I think it's Bacote, however you pronounce it. Bacote, yes. And like, I walked out there with like armfuls of like ebony, mahogany, and Bacote. And I was like, oh, this is like the best day of my life. Like, yeah, and that is where this, turn the light upside down.
That is beautiful. Yeah. Yeah, I went to the one, I guess the new factory, and my brother actually invited me to go. And he'd been a couple times. And he said, "Man, I want to take you on this. I think you'll really appreciate it because you do."
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, hey, so
I would love to make a guitar. That would just be like they have like
why don't you focus on that?
Well, I've been focusing on trying to like fix up and restore guitars, which I have. The main one I'm trying to do is a 64 Harmony Patrician, which I actually got from my guitar teacher, which I love. It's a great guitar. It's got to fix it up a little more so it can be playable. But they have classes that my friend, he actually lives in Pennsylvania. He's done the classes in Bethlehem, Luthier place, and he's made like a Strat and stuff. But I would love to do like a acoustic, triple O body. So I just gotta find the time and way to finance it. Make some more picks.
Make some more picks.
Yeah.
I did an interview with Emanuele. That's how you say his name. It's very tongue twisting to try to pronounce his full name. But from Zwart's Plectrums,
Mm-hmm.
he got started doing that. He was just restoring stuff.
Yeah.
And then he got really good at restoration. And then he started making guitars. And he got really good at making guitars. And he said, in the interview, I was so fascinated with every little component.
Yeah.
I started focusing and analyzing on the pick itself. And then, he started making picks. So he restores vintage, super old guitars. He builds guitars, and now he makes picks. You can do that as well.
Yeah. There's actually this guy that lives probably like 20 minutes away from me. I forget what brand of guitar it was. He used to work for them, but he designed. I'm pretty sure he designed and made the Eddie Van Halen signature guitars for dang, I forget what brand. It's
Kramer.
Yes, Kramer. That's something, and that's what he's known for. And like I never knew that, and like turns out he lives real close to me. So I'm gonna probably, when I have a lot of time off of college, I'm gonna go like call him up and say, hey, like I need some advice on how to do this. Can you help me out? Maybe get him into the pick community. I don't know.
I went to high school with Eddie Van Halen's guitar tech's stepson.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and I knew the answer was Kramer because this guy, his name is Tom. He's an amazing guy. He owned a little guitar shop up in Cincinnati where he would make guitars and fix guitars, and it was exclusively Kramer. He loved working on Kramer stuff. And this guy comes in one day and said, hey, I need you to make me a guitar. He's like, I can do that. He goes, I need it done by tomorrow. And he was like, a lot of pressure, but I can probably do it. And he said, I need these exact specifications. And the guy was like, oh my gosh, you're killing me. So he looked over all the specifics, right? And he said, well, just so you know, like, one, I only make Kramer guitars. He goes, I know, that's why we're coming to you. We need Kramer, and we need it to be this. And he went, is this like Eddie Van Halen's guitar? And the guy's like, yeah. And he goes, oh. So apparently Eddie was on tour with Van Halen, and I have no idea how long ago this was, because it wasn't yesterday, but it was a long, like maybe 80s, late
Yeah.
90s or something. And he said, yeah, like I can do it. But so Eddie, I guess, broke a guitar or something and needed another one like that next night. And so the guy makes it. He makes it. You got your roommate.
Yeah.
Dormsman doing an interview.
Yeah. You want to say hi?
Hello.
So
Josh.
he makes it and calls the guy the next day. Eddie Van Halen comes to his shop and meets him. And he's like, dude, hello. I just made this guitar. Eddie Van Halen loved it so much that he called the guy back and said, can I hire you to be my guitar guy? He's like, yes.
That is crazy.
He went on tour with everybody. I mean, like Poison, Cheap Trick, Soundgarden. And anytime that Eddie went on tour, this guy was always on tour with Eddie. And I was like, yeah, that's really cool.
Awesome.
I never got to meet Eddie, and I never wanted to go meet other people, but I always thought that was fascinating. A friend of mine, his stepdad's the guitar tech, It's like, that's I probably need to get a hold of him to tell him I make picks now. I haven't seen him in a minute, but I bet he'd be interested.
Yeah. I have a friend. Are you a fan of the Wu-Tang?
Wu-Tang
Clan? Yeah.
I've heard of their music, yes.
I'm not like that huge of a fan of them. I don't know them that well. But they have a special on Hulu. And my friend who he actually sold me my first guitar, he and his band like wrote the music for the show. And I thought that was like really cool.
Nice. That is really cool. Yeah. It's always fun to find out little things that people do.
Yeah, it's
done and how small of a connection we all have,
Yeah, it's big world, like not that big.
I'm willing to bet that my guy that did the guitar stuff probably knows that guy that you're talking about. Like probably if we put those two together, they're just like, hey, good to see you.
Probably. Yeah.
Because what are the odds that you said Kramer guitars? Yeah. He could have been like Fender. Maybe this guy knows him, but Kramer, like this guy made Kramer guitars. He didn't design it or come up with the concept. I'm not trying to say this guy was the owner. He just was a guitar maker, and he specialized in building Kramer bodies and selling them. So, Well, is there any last final words?
Any last final words? To quote the great John Davidson, rep hard and rep heavy.
I like it, man. Hey, you have a great day. I'll talk to you later, okay?
All right, you too.
See you, man. 19 years old. And he's pushing his way through college little by little. Now, the picks aren't covering the entirety of the cost, but this guy's actually pretty much a genius at figuring out a cost-effective way to make a product that everybody loves, everybody likes, and push his way through college. Mind you, he started when he was 16. I just started a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. Which goes to show, it doesn't matter how old you are, it doesn't matter what age you are, how old and age, same thing. It's irrelevant. It doesn't matter. You can do anything. You can figure out how to accomplish anything. He got a tree in his backyard. He needed it cut up. He figured out how to get it cut up. Genius. I love this guy's energy. I love the fact that he loves my beard. Just kidding. Go check him out. New World Guitar Picks. This guy's got amazing stuff, and he's going to continue to do amazing things. I'm so proud that he's my friend. I'm just so excited. I love you. I love being here at John's Classic Barbershop in Williamstown, Kentucky. Proud sponsor of Hippie Picks. And listen, I'll forgive him for not understanding the reference of the regional manager and the assistant to the regional manager t-shirt. I have to, when this interview comes out, I will post up a picture on Instagram so you guys can see the photo. I love you. Have a great day. You know the drill. John says, rep hard, rep heavy. I say, be